Hey class, quick note, probably skimmed through all my photos and thought that they don't even follow the handout. And I am here to tell you that, yes, technically you are correct. So these past few weeks, I've been absent, obviously. I've just had a lot going on in my personal life where I wasn't exactly in a place for very long with the same weather, where I could get pictures at the same time and all of that other stuff. So I talked to professor and I've submitted a compilation of those photos that I've taken over those past few weeks that I feel translate basically what our assignment has been asking for. So I'll get right into it with the midday sun photos. Midday sun is probably the easiest for me to get the pictures for. Just snap a shot in the middle of the day, and then you get your midday sun. Um, it's relatively easy to see where the sun's at in these photos and then figure out what time of day it was, despite some of them being in different places. Um, the one I do want to note in particular is this football stadium photo. So this one, if you read the end zone, it says Ohio. So I took this photo in Ohio, and it's actually about 12:20 p.m. So the sun was decently in the sky, but it was an overcast day and it was actually snowing on us during this game. So the reason I wanted to put this one in is because I think it demonstrates how naturally diffused direct sunlight can still play a role in photos. Moving on, we have golden hour. Golden hour. For me, it was hard to distinguish between golden hour and twilight. Um, Other than these two photos that I have that were on campus, this one for golden hour and here for twilight, um, again, they're all at different locations. The reason I went more with all these sky photos that I have is one, you always get a different result in your photographs. Different colors, just an overall different aesthetic. But two, it was also partly the only way I could distinguish the two because the demo video and the handout say golden hour is right before when the sun goes behind the mountains. And then twilight, it's right when it is. But I take a look at these photos and it's just a little bit harder for me to distinguish the two. So personally speaking, moving on, mixed light. So mixed light, I was able to play around a little bit more with the scene and then mess with zoom features and the exposure and angles, all this cool stuff with photographs. So these ones I'll go through one by one. So first, the cityscape, excuse me. This one was taken, it was taken in another state, and I took it on top of one of the roofs, pretty straightforward. You see that it was, you still had some sunlight from back there coming in, but you still have a nice little line of artificial light working with the photo. Next photo here I have, this one I set up my tripod and I had my friends basically walk towards the tripod being as like noodly as they could while still walking in a straight line. I took this at about 5:30 p.m. and but most of the light is coming here from there's a street light over there next to where we shot. So that was that one. This one here was a succulent garden that was illuminated by like a garden light, and it was taken about the same time. So with I also zoomed in on this one. I got real close. So the CSU Pueblo one, I dropped the aperture for the photo, and it was actually about 550-ish, 540 during this photo. There was still some sun, very little, but when I dropped the aperture and shortened the exposure, and then I focused mainly on the sign, this photo was the result. All right, so at the end of this project, it probably taught me how to read light more critically, focus on where the light is coming from, how it's coming in, the different ways that the light can affect your photo, and also how a couple of minutes of time is rather subtle, but when you're taking photos with natural light, it's super drastic and can completely change your composition.